Devotional. Today I want to start by reading a few verses from the book of Numbers, chapter 13. The Lord said to Moses, "Send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I'm giving to the Israelites. From each of their ancestral tribes you shall send a man, every one a leader among them." At the end of 40 days, they returned from spying out the land, and they came to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation of the Israelites in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. They brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told him, "We came to the land to which you sent us. It flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. Yet the people who live in the land are strong, and the towns are fortified and very large." But Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, "Let's go up at once and occupy it, for we are well able to overcome it." Then the men who had gone up with him said, "We're not able to go up against this people, for they're stronger than we." So they brought to the Israelites an unfavorable report of the land that they had spied out. Today's devotional is from my first collection, According to Barclay, Reflections on Life in the Human Pack, and is entitled, As Big as You Want to Be. I opened the back door to let out the dog. Barclay wasn't a year old yet, a miniature schnauzer, not even 20 pounds wet. Then I realized my mistake. I had not looked first. Sniffing around in the front yard was an enormous Doberman pinscher who could snap Barclay's neck with a single bite. Barclay saw him too. Before I could call him back, Barclay took off like a small silver rocket, and he sounded like one. He wasn't barking. He was emitting a low, rumbling growl. He meant business. The Doberman bolted, tucked his tail, and ran to the street, and Barclay chased him at full speed all the way down the block, then trotted home with satisfied gait and head held high. That day, I discovered terriers are completely oblivious to differences in size and strength. As far as Barclay was concerned, that Doberman was no larger and no stronger than he was. And the Doberman? He didn't see any difference either. In his mind, he was just as small and vulnerable as Barclay. You see, Barclay is as big as he want to be. My dogs fight among themselves every now and then to determine pecking order in the pack. They snarl and snap at each other, butt chests, and then it's over. It doesn't matter which is physically bigger or stronger. It's a contest of determination and courage. The victor simply has the stronger will and the bigger heart. God well knows that the race does not always go to the fastest, nor the prize to the strongest. So he tells a ragamuffin band of tribal confederation of former slaves and nomads who can't get along and don't trust their own leaders to storm into hostile, fortified territory and take it by force. Boy, does God have a ridiculous sense of humor. In preparation for the invasion, Moses sends in a long-range reconnaissance patrol to spy out the lay of the land and military strength. But these 12 guys are not military material. Picture a bunch of desert bumpkins walking around town, gawking slack-jawed in wonder. See, a good reconnaissance unit gathers information, but leaves strategy and military feasibility to the field commander. These guys, not only is their report useless, they presume to decide feasibility themselves right out in public. No way, 10 of them say. We can't do it. They're bigger and stronger than we are. The place is full of giants. Now, after that, they're right. There's no way the Hebrews could conquer anything demoralized. They don't have the heart for it anymore. The other two, Caleb and Joshua, you wonder if they were on the same bus tour. They saw the same things, but come away with a very different assessment. Let's go, they call it. We can do this. Piece of cake. They get outvoted 10-2, and the stage is set for the Hebrews to return to the wilderness for the next 40 years. Now, the 10 would say they're just being realists. We have X number of average size attackers going against X, Y, Z numbers of giant sized defenders. We're a ragtag bunch of nomadic raiders going up against disciplined troops and well-defended fortifications. Face facts, can't be done. Now, Caleb and Joshua are no less realists than the other 10, but the 10 only take into account part of the data. They look at numbers, size, relative military strength. They do not take into account the power of determination and faith, the strength of resolve and courage, the intangible qualities of heart and will that allow little Barkley to chase away a huge Doberman pinscher. Nor do they reckon with God. Joshua and Caleb do. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will give it to us. Don't be afraid of the people, they say. Step out in faith to do what God says to do, and then God will see to it that it succeeds. Perhaps you can see your promised land just over the hill there, but it seems unattainable. Too many high walls, too many fierce giants. That Doberman is just too big. You either surrender to God or you'll surrender to the giants. With God, you have nothing to fear. The battle is not decided by strength and numbers, but by heart and will, by determination and courage, and by obedient faith. Giants, Dobermans, it's all the same. Don't tell me you're smaller than little Barkley, because in his eyes and in his heart, he's bigger than anything. You see, it never matters how big the dogs confronting you are, because you are as big as you want to be. And now, for Easter week, a prayer. Easter is not some cute rite of spring. More than the rebirth of green growing things, more than the sprouts and the buds and the blooms, the body is gone from the grim, ghastly tomb. It's not about bunnies and chocolate egg nests, not about who is most fashionably dressed. It's not just ham dinners or long Sunday drives. The dead man appears and is clearly alive. Lord, you must view us with righteous chagrin to see even Easter get tainted with sin. Except for that cross, we'd be hopelessly doomed. But the crucified lives and shows us his wounds. Some may be happy with marshmallow peeps, but the trumpet is sounding, the dead wake from sleep, the demons a-tremble, the saints overjoyed. Jesus is raised, and the grave is destroyed. I wish you a very blessed day. The Lord is risen. He's risen indeed.